I was around 6, 7, and then pretty much a year and a half later, after doing all these acting auditions, and I was fairly new because it's like I was never ever all like these other like acting kids where I would take everything so seriously. Like
Yeah.
if I came out the audition room, I just stopped completely focused on the audition. I was just on to the next fun thing of the day. Like a lot of kids are like, dang, did I do good? Like, like so like that. So I was never like that. Even beforehand, I would just look at the script once and then I would just be like, yo, can we go get something to eat? And then I would just go So I would never always be focused. And I think sometimes that's a good thing because like for me, when I got Blackish, I think that's a major reason. And that, if leading on to that, I was 6 or 7 when we started, and I was 8, turning 9 when I got Blackish. So only like 2 years after I actually started fully acting when I got my first role, and it was, I could say, the whole casting process of that is crazy. Just knowing how everything went between certain things going on. But I could say that I feel like a major reason why they did pick me was because, and I don't know if people know this, but I was the first one casted on the show. Besides,
that's a crazy story.
Besides Anthony, who was already, he was the already executive producer on the show pre-hand. But auditioning wise, I was the first. So it was just crazy because it's like I think they seen and they understood how I went into these auditions just really just there for fun and just having fun and I guess finding the enjoyment of the whole thing.
Regular kid.
And they just seen I was a regular kid having fun. And I already met Anthony somewhere.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't that big of a deal. But I met him somewhere at this concert or something, and I had a huge afro.
He probably knows about the concert.
It was just random concert.
A year before that audition he's talking about was Balboa Park.
Okay.
Robin Thicke, New Edition.
Oh, wow.
And Cameo, randomly.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
That's like, you never would see those acts with Cameo.
I don't think it was a crazy... I forgot.
We went to see Cameo. My wife went to see Robin Thicke and New Edition.
Yeah.
We showed up late and missed Cameo's set.
Oh.
We're sitting there in the sun. My wife's having a ball. And we look and I go, is that Anthony Anderson? I knew who he was. He had no clue who he was. I took him to meet him. They took a photo. And a year later,
have that picture now?
I have the picture on one of our old phones.
Wow!
But a year later was when the audition happened, and Anthony did not remember taking that photo. And I couldn't find it because this is when you moved on to phones. But that audition.
Yeah, process, I remember that now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I remember that I did. So okay. So now is where it gets even crazier. I'm just talking about the Kevin Hart thing.
Oh yeah.
And so while that was going on. This is the crazy thing because out of all, like the whole year, 2 years, like this one moment, just craziness started happening out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So did the Blackish audition without anyone in the room. It was just, how the casting director and a camera, like just how normal auditions are. So did good on that. And I think either the next day I went and I did a Kevin Hart audition for this show that I guess Kevin Hart was executive producing at the time.
About himself.
And it was pretty much just about himself. And I think they wanted me to play his son or something, like the role was for his son. And I did good on that too. And it was good because I got callbacks for both. And I got a callback for Blackish, and at the time it was just the untitled Anthony Anderson project. Okay. And I still remember that. And I remember going in the room, and unlike it just being the person reading me my lines in a camera, it was every writer, every producer, and every ABC executive. So it was like a good 20 to 30 people in that one room. And it went from one person that has nothing to do with the show.
Right.
So then, 30 people who are in charge of the whole network of the show.
Deep breath,
and including Anthony and Kenya, who's also, the creator. And it was just, I could say, I think by them doing that, they knew that they were going to make a lot of kids, I guess, like nervous when you walk into the room with that many people. But I was so like nonchalant and I was just doing my own thing. Well, like, I was like, okay, so we got more people watching me. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, I didn't think of it as a nervous thing. I just thought of it as like, oh, cool. So now I get to do more thing in front of more people.
Oh, yeah.
And they just seen that and they really liked me. And then the same thing with the callback for Kevin Hart. It wasn't that as many people, but they liked the callback. So we started, once we got to this point, we started getting phone calls from both shows, and then we had to we tried to find a way to tell them. It took us a second for us to find a way how to tell them that we're trying to do an audition for an opposing show. And that's kind of the worst thing, because it's like once you tell a show that, they just go in scrambles trying to, I guess, get you, or trying to find a way to like distract you or to not go to another one, right?
Yeah,
so
it was stressful, man.
So once that happened, it was almost like a bid war type thing between both shows. And I think after you do a callback, normally the way it goes is you're supposed to do like a chemistry test with the people who are already on the show, as if you already got the job, but you don't really got the job type thing. And Blackish, they just wanted me so much. They were going back and forth between the Kevin Hart show. Blackish just wanted me that much. They just offered me the job. So, before that even happened.
But they did hear, I think it was because they also got wind of another show possibly interested in them as well. Yeah. That was a Kevin Hart.
But before that, I remember it got to a point where it was like a this or that, and we had the choice, because there was a moment where our agencies, Blackish, it's on 60%, by the way.
Okay.
Charge. But it got to a point where Blackish and the Kevin Hart show both sent the whole episode script to our agencies so we could look it over and just pick at this point, we could just pick.
Yeah.
And we didn't understand how big of a deal that was at the time, because
I think we did. I don't know if you...
No. We didn't, because look, I'm explaining.
Right.
Because we read both scripts, and at the time, this is 2014. So this is this is like prime Kevin Hart right here. This is this is Kevin Hart like going crazy right now, right? Yeah. So I'm guaranteeing you, anyone in their right mind would have just picked the Kevin Hart one off the rip, right?
Well, we knew Anthony's resume.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying anyone like if they didn't have a parent there, you know, and we read both scripts, and the Anthony one was just more of like a heartfelt type thing, and I was included more, and it just felt better, and the Kevin Hart one's more just like. It's Kevin Hart, so the type of comedy is not going to be the same, So they just naturally just wanted to pick the Anthony one. They offered me the job, and then to find out the Kevin Hart one didn't even get picked up. So, So it was like...
And it wasn't going to have him in it either.
Yeah, and we didn't know that Kevin Hart wasn't even going to be in it until after. We thought Kevin Hart was going to be in it the whole time. Yeah. And it was crazy because... With this snap of a finger, we could have just picked the Kevin Hart one, and
everything would have been
nothing would have been happening, and I would have been watching Blackish go on for 8 seasons.
Good point.
Yeah, so
good decision. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be a tough decision, because you obviously don't want to burn bridges with anybody, so that's a tough decision, man. I mean, especially with two talented people working in two different situations. Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, so it was just I don't think anyone could believe a story like that. So it's just
that's wild.
It's the crazy.
In real time, Dan, it was the most exciting and the most stressful because
it was never this stressful ever until this one point, and then everything.
Yeah, I was going to say what led up to that. I know I read that you did music videos and stuff as a dancer, but had you done
before this? It was just all just commercials, guest appearances. So everything was going just smoothly, and it's kind of like we kind of asked for it. We kind of asked for it because we kept doing these auditions, trying to hope for something like this, until we got hit with a brick with all the stress that was going on. Out of nowhere,
but it was all like what you were doing before was like a couple days of work here and there. And
so stuff like that. Yeah.
So how is that? What's it like going from doing stuff like that to being suddenly committed to a full-on sitcom?
It's just I didn't really understand how shows worked like that at the time, so I kind of just went from doing like a commercial, you know how that goes, just filming like a day or two, whatever. Same thing with guest appearances. I'm only there for like 2 scenes, whatever. And then we just keep doing that. And then as soon as we got Blackish, we did a whole week, right? So that was kind of unusual for me as, 8 years old, because I'm like, whoa, we're kind of working longer than how we used to. Why are we not working only 2 days? Yeah. And then I loved it so much that I didn't know that you had to get picked up to continue. So I thought as soon as we were done with the week that we did, it was just,
the pilot.
Oh, I thought it was just a pilot, and it was a fun experience. And we just moved on. But then we got picked up. And then once they told me we're doing a whole season, I was like, whoa, so I'm actually gonna like be doing this for a whole year, like pretty much straight. And then and then once we did seasons, I watched a lot of shows growing up that only went for like 2-3 seasons because that's just how Nickelodeon and stuff worked. So I didn't know that it was possible for shows to go on for almost 10 years. Right. Yeah. And after the first season, I thought it was done. After the second season, I thought it was done. And after the third season, I just started building more confidence. Like, I don't think it's done. I think we're going to keep going for a while. And then,
it's probably a good, mechanism to kick in. Like, just never take it for granted and just keep going for it, doing your best at it.
Yeah, right. I just didn't. I think what it was is I didn't think people. I never realized how relatable the show was because, like, I think we're the longest running show out of all the years that are 2014 ABC shows.
Recent wise, I know Modern Family.
No, I'm saying shows that piloted in the same year as us.
Oh, yes. That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it was close. Like, so you could just tell, like,
the Goldbergs, I think, was a year.
Yeah, Goldbergs was in our year.
But not your year. You're right.
So it was just crazy just knowing because it's like our show spoke out to a certain audience that not one show on ABC was really kind of reaching out to the audience. And I think that's why our show stuck for that much amount of time,